I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the chairman, Lagos Health and Safety Professionals, Mr. Timothy Iwago. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you.
Well, we understand that a bigger disaster, was averted, being that the fire service arrived and all that. Do you think it was contained better this time? Because obviously this is not the first time it will happen.
I wouldn't say it was contained better this time. The fact is, at what point did the emergency responders, the first responders, at what point did they get the information? And how long has this been going on in that environment? First of all, I would say there's criminal collusion by people in that neighborhood, because this is an ongoing thing and they've been doing it. And we are hearing from eyewitnesses that 8 trucks actually left before this one that had the problem. The 7 left. So this is the 8th one that had the problem. So what we are talking about now is, how come everybody had been trying to cover up this and it's been going on? So there must be thorough investigation into this. But in terms of response, whether they were quick response at this time or not, is not the issue. The point is, trucks were not meant to be found there.
You talked about a cover-up. And when you look at that area, it's congested, etc. And then the question is, what sort of security architecture should you find in that kind of place? I mean, it's not a place where the trucks could move out easily, if you see from what our cameras could capture. Yeah. What would you be expecting in a place where you have conduit pipes like that?
Now, when we have such pipes, we are familiar with the functions and duties of the Civil Defense Corps. They've been in charge of looking at these pipelines. And some locals, some vigilante groups have been giving some contracts, like the OPC in the southwest here. They've been handling such, they've been supporting government in such surveillance. Now the question is, at what point did everything become so loose that trucks are loading? Well, it is not a new issue. We are familiar with this type of occurrences, like we recorded somewhere in Alaja some years ago in Delta State. We have it going on parts of River State, Imo State. We have these things all over the place. So it is the duty of the security organizations, the agencies.
So where do you think they were when the 7 trucks were leaving?
Good.
At no point did anyone say, this is a bit suspicious? Is there no round-the-clock watch, as you hear in other countries, and we're made to believe that security is being beefed up? What happened?
You see, when we say security is everybody's business, every citizen of Nigeria has the right to call the attention of security agencies whenever he or she suspects foul play within the environment, especially when it involves moving highly volatile materials, hydrocarbons of that volume. Definitely, it is not something you just go and pick and move. Somebody had to be given a cover-up so that he will have time to do this loading. You can't load a 33,000 liters truck in 10 minutes. No matter the pressure, you can't load it in 30 minutes. So the question is, who is in charge? When you are loading, it means product is leaving a pipeline through a valve system, and which means there must be a way of monitoring the flow. So there's a flow meter somewhere. So somebody must be taking record, or there must be a station that will be recording the movement, large volume of fluid, of liquid. So who is responsible? It's not a difficult thing to find out. Like the trucks removing their plate numbers and all that.
Yes, and even speaking about plate numbers, you talked about perhaps this is some sort of cover-up on the part of those who are there. We were actually able to capture the plate number there, as you saw Olu say. Is that something that can be used to detect at least either who is behind it or who was able to get away? Because things like this happen, is on camera, and we don't hear anything after that.
Yeah, we have had a lot of it. You see, it is time we rose up to actually call for thorough root cause analysis, investigations involving the agencies, the organizations. Sometimes the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria is not called upon when you want to do thorough professional root cause analysis. And the security agencies are supposed to come up. There should be a committee that will really go into this, not people who are not concerned. We are talking of people who have the interest of government at heart, not the businessmen who would want to have it not mentioned. But we've had a lot of terrible things in our country. We've had a lot of terrible things where a whole factory got burnt with people roasted alive, Nigerian citizens, because the head of the place decided to lock them so that they don't pilfer. So you were now seeing a situation where you have to sacrifice safety on the altar of security. So we have had a lot of issues like this. Now, we must, if the government and the relevant agencies have the willpower, because like you said, a lot of cases like this have gone and nothing is heard after coming on air. So we are not happy, especially from the professional background. We know what it means. When you burn such volume of hydrocarbons, you are releasing into the atmosphere a high volume of smoke, which respiratory health of the people is affected. Then you are looking at degradation of the environment. Right. A whole lot of things is involved. So we need proper investigation from security angle and root cause analysis from safety angle.
All right, thank you so much, Chairman, Lagos Health and Safety Professionals, Mr. Timothy Uwagu, for sharing us on the news at 10 tonight.